necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities. That's why a bear can rest at ease with just the bare necessities of life. Now when
lions and tigers and bears, oh my, in the gigantic city that Moscow is, it's interesting for many new visitors to actually find out how many animal and circus shows are playing in the Russian capital.
In Russia, the circus is considered an art form on par with the ballet or opera, a showcase for highly skilled, creative artists and animals. Since the reign of Catherine the Great, the circus has played an important role in the rich cultural traditions of Russia. Empress Catherine ordered 2 circus rings to be built after she saw a group of English circus performers. This gave birth to the contemporary Russian circus we know today.
Nice wigs. There are hundreds of things to do in the Russian capital, but what if you have children with you, or you are a child at heart? From magicians to acrobats, clowns to dolphins, that's what this week's Moscow Out programme is about.
Throughout 70 years of communism, circuses in the Soviet Union received enormous government support. It could then be enjoyed by all, regardless of age, race or education.
The circus in Russia is world famous, and there's still many companies that tour the world today, but they do use animals. Is it cruel? Is it a challenge or a skill, or is it just simply part of traditional Russian entertainment?
That's the ethical question. Candy floss and popcorn away. Let's see what some tourists have to say.
Human beings are also animals in one way or the other. As long as there's exploitation of the human animal, I think that's more important.
What can I say? I don't like the use of animals in shows, but the thing is that when they're well used and well bred, why not? It can be nice for everyone. Anyway.
Here in Russia, I think interesting, yeah, because I hear about the Russian circuit is the first. What do you say? The first bigger circuit in the world. Yeah, I hear about that. Yeah, in my country. Yeah, I hear.
Well, I come from a farm in New Zealand, so I'm used to that sort of thing, using animals, and it's what my father's livelihood was based on. So, but as long as the animals are looked after and there's no cruelty to them, then I don't have an issue with it.
In France, we watch a lot of new circus, and for us, the Russian and the Chinese circus is a bit old-fashioned. I mean, the artists are very good, but the way they do the things, it's a bit old-fashioned.
Old-fashioned or not, the circus is enjoyed by hundreds of thousands of visitors every year.
If you're stuck for something to do on a Friday or Saturday night and don't want to visit the circus, then here's a list of 3 other animal activities.
This animal theatre was founded in 1912 by the great clown and animal trainer Vladimir Durov, and it's still running today. This exceptional Moscow institution has been enchanting and amazing children for almost a century. There's no denying the obvious affection for the animals and concern for their well-being demonstrated by everyone who works there. Equally commendable is the commitment also established by Vladimir Durov to keep theatre tickets no more expensive than a loaf of bread. The theatre has a big and a small stage, and also a museum which charts the history of the theatre. Particularly for young children, the Durov Theatre is a genuine treat.
And this is your number 2 option.
Housed in the Palace of Water Sports, this venue was built for the 1980 Olympic Games. The Moscow Dolphinarium was opened in 1994 and has rapidly become one of the city's favourite kids' days out. The main pool in the Dolphinarium was constructed by drilling a well 1,300 metres deep to an underground salt lake. This supplies the dolphin pool with seawater the same the dolphins are used to in their natural environment. The water show is performed by dolphins from the Black Sea, beluga whales, northern sea lions and South African fur seals. Some of the acts performed in the show are very difficult and complicated and involve the animals dancing, clapping their flippers, walking on water, catching rings, balancing balls on their noses and jumping through hoops. The dolphins are especially playful and friendly and require little training. There are several early shows each day, and you can even book a special treat. You can book to swim with these amazing creatures. The Dolphinarium is a perfect way to wind down and put a smile on everyone's face.
What great fun, and this is our final Moscow Out animal outing.
Finally, we come to the famous Moscow Cat Theatre. The furry friends perform amazing tricks for owners who love and train them. Yuri Kuklichov came upon the idea of performing cats in the year 1971. He saw a stray cat begging for food on the street by performing on its hind legs and doing somersaults for onlookers. After that day, the Cat Theatre was born, and since the award-winning show has travelled to 80 countries around the world and is still on tour to this day. The travelling Moscow Cat Theatre is populated by 35 performing cats and one vastly outnumbered dog. The cats, like all performers, regularly practice their tricks to stay on top form. These include balancing on large mirror balls to swinging on colourful trapezes. Indiana Jones the cat, eat your heart out. Everyone adores the Cat Theatre, and you will too.
I'm absolutely amazed because, to see cats performing tricks and being trained, in my mind I usually think dogs do those sorts of things, but cats, it's kind of cool to see felines sort of just roaming the stage, like entertaining us. So.
This is the training room backstage. You can see it looks like a gigantic circus ring, and here acrobats, animals and the gymnasts are really put through their paces. Rather hurt than me.
The working conditions and safety levels here are very high. The circus employs several hundred artists at the present time, many who have won top awards.
My male fairy friend here is 3.5 years old, and as a cheetah he's the fastest animal in the world. There you go, do you want your ball? No. His name is Lord, and he's part of the magic act here in the circus's new programme. You can see he's very, very healthy, he's tame, he's also very, very happy indeed.
Yes, but is it cruel?
Cheetahs are more obedient than tigers or lions. Much easier to tame because they are calm. And they'll love it. It's like a game to them.
Lord is one of many animals the circus has in its show. From porcupines to goats, all are cared for with the highest standards.
Go on. I'm going to leave them to it. Do swidania, spasiba, paka.
Back in the foyer, we meet Rachel from South Africa. She's been in Moscow for 2 years and has never been to the circus. Sophie and her girls are from Switzerland. Sophie's been in Moscow for 9 years and has never ever been to the zoo.
Well, I've not been to a circus before, and there's a lot of opinions about whether or not it's cruel to keep animals in captivity. So I thought I may as well come along, have a look for myself and make up my own mind.
Well, first of all, I think cultural life is very important in Russia and in Moscow in general. And the choice, there's a lot of possibilities to go out with children or without children.
So our Moscow Out challenge begins. Rachel takes her seat at the circus and we take Sophie and the girls to the zoo, both for the first time. But what will they think? Will they think it's cruel or old-fashioned? Sophie enters the zoo with her 2 daughters, Isadora and Leah, as Rachel takes her seat in the arena of the Great Moscow State Circus, founded in 1864, which sits 3,400 people. The impressive auditorium here is an enormous 36 metres tall, and the main ring is 18 metres deep and has 5 interchangeable floors. It's something to be seen. It's Sophie's first time in the Moscow Zoo, so she's not too sure what animals are where, but sooner or later stumbles onto a friendly bear. Meanwhile, at the circus, the public take their seats, and the show is about to begin.
Can you, if I conferred with our furry friends, girl to animal, think of the...
A few monkeys, elephants, crocodiles and polar bears. Later, things are going really well outside.
With the animals, grunt and squeak and squawk with the animals.
I just can't believe, we're in the center of Moscow, and I've seen tigers, I've seen elephants, I've seen giraffes and zebras. How do they cope during the winter? It's a city, it's like minus 40, in the summer plus 40. How can those animals cope?
Well, believe it or not, Sophie, a few years ago animals at zoos across Russia were given vodka to keep them warm, as temperatures in the European part of the country plunged towards an exceptional minus 40.
Well, Sophie and the girls are loving the zoo, but what about Rachel?
performances later, she doesn't look to impress. Oh dear.
While Sophie and her daughters and Rachel hopefully enjoy themselves, let's see what's happening in Moscow this week. First of all, we have the Millionaire Fair on the 11th of November. Located in the Crocus Exhibition Centre over 4 days, Russian fans of luxury lifestyle can see amazing items on sale, from $1 million phones to private islands. Next is a samurai exhibition called Art of War. It's currently running at Moscow State Museum of Oriental Art until December the 7th. And finally, get out your dancing shoes. The first R&B Fest is coming to town. The music festival will bring many famous stars to the Russian capital for the first time. That's at the Olympijski Stadium on the 10th of November. Meanwhile, it's back to the circus, and surely the clowns will cheer Rachel up.
The clowns did it. It looks like Rachel is finally having a good time. A few hours later, let's see what Rachel has to say.
I think it's an alternative night out. It's absolutely fantastic. I mean, some people may have reservations about the animals in the show, but you can tell they're so well taken care of, they're so well loved, and it all comes together and it gels beautifully. It was so much fun, it really was.
It's lunchtime for Sophie, Isadora and Leah. The camera is full and the girls are amazed to have seen so many animals in the middle of such a large city. So it's thumbs up to the zoo and to the circus.
Well, unfortunately, my time is up. If you want any more information, check out our website, RussiaToday.com, Moscow Hour section, and I'll see you at the same time next week.